Sure, the Surrey real estate market, well, it's not doing so hot, but that's to be expected when you see 5-year fixed mortgage rates jump from earlier this year around 2% all the way up to now, well, 6% or more. But the market isn't just interest rates, and the market isn't really just the market. It's made up of different types of properties, and here in my market of the City of Surrey, those types of properties are tracked in 3 major asset classes, which include single-family homes, otherwise known as detached, townhouses, and condos. And in today's video, we're going to look at the statistics just released by the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board and compare asset classes to each other over time. But first, the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board has just released their statistics for the month, and that makes this the Surrey Report. So as we do every single month, here are the most updated benchmark prices for the entire City of Surrey.
Moving into our detached market, we have had 129 sales in the month of October. That is down from 389 sales in the same period last year. Our benchmark price is $1,584,100. That is down 1.7% month over month, but still up 2.2% year over year.
46 townhouse sales in October of 2022. That is down 52% from October of 2021. Our benchmark price is $828,100. And that is down 0.8% month over month, but an increase of 5.5% year over year.
And in condos, benchmark price is around $527,000. That's a 0.9% increase month over month and 11.2% increase year over year.
Okay, so as I said, today's video is going to be all about comparing the different types of properties within Surrey. And my hopes are that you will learn a little bit here today and help grow your real estate knowledge. And in return, you can help me grow this channel by subscribing and clicking the like button. Yeah, that's all I ask. And along with the knowledge you get here today, in return, I'll offer you another hour of real estate market and industry talk every Sunday morning, because that is when new episodes of my podcast that I help co-host called The Tom Story Show are released here on YouTube and audio platforms everywhere. So please go ahead and check that out using the link below. And now on to houses and townhouses and apartments here in my hometown of Surrey BC. Popping into Stats Center. I haven't looked at these yet, so you're going to get my honest feedback from the statistics package that was just released by the Fraser Valley Board. So to set the ground rules here, the blue line is the detached market, the green line is the townhouse market, and the red line is the condo market, otherwise known as apartments. Currently, what you're seeing is the HPI pricing, or the home price index. Now, this is going back 10 years. And one thing I did notice when I first popped into this, now my eyes are going into this little valley here. A lot of people don't take me serious when I say the stress test, when it was introduced, wasn't maybe that dissimilar to what's going on in the market right now. Because what it did was it immediately stopped people from qualifying for as much as they previously could have. And, well, you can see from right around when it took effect, April, May of 2018. Now, I understand the stress test was brought in ahead of that, but it didn't apply to all properties. This is when it applied to every single property. You can see that we went into a bit of a funk, and that funk lasted, like I say, from May 2018. And really, we didn't come out of that until December 2020 price-wise. But the bottom of the market was, well, basically right before lockdown. But you don't really care about that, so we're going to go, that's old news. Let's get into the new stuff. So let's look at the market over the last 3 years. Obviously, we had lockdown. Didn't really affect prices too much. We had the first big bump into 2021, and then we had the second big bump in early 2022, and obviously prices have come off since then. What I did want to look at is right here, March of 2022. Was the peak for HPI pricing. HPI pricing does lag slightly, so the peak was likely like the last week of February. But for March 2022 pricing, houses in Surrey, they capped out at almost $1.9 million. Just to go back at the beginning of the pandemic, that same house would have been under 1.1. Just a crazy run up that we saw over those basically 2 years. Then apartments, let's go to townhouses next. They came in at just under $1 million, 983 was the peak. Let's go back to the beginning of what I call the before times. That went down as low as 600. So they went from 600 to 900. And then apartments were under $400,000, and they peaked out right around the same time at 587. Now we've seen those prices come down substantially here over the last little bit since the interest rates started to increase. So detached homes in the city of Surrey, well, you can see it right here on my screen, 1.58. So you've seen the overall detached house in Surrey come down over $300,000 since the peak. The townhouse market has come down about 150, and the condo market has only come down about $50,000. So what this is doing is this is actually creating an opportunity where if you can afford the payment, in that, trust me, that's a whole nother conversation, but if you can afford the payment, this is actually the spot in the market where people trying to move up from one asset class to the next could be a better situation for them, because the overall amount of money that they have to borrow, well, that's actually shrinking. And I'm going to kind of zoom out here a little bit as well, because it's only at that time you can really kind of see the effect. Let's go to the maximum. You can really kind of see the effect on exactly what prices have done. Obviously, we're not going back to 2005, but when you see this massive peak run up here, you'll notice that just in this last month, the detached market has, still downwards. Don't let me try and get these words twisted at all, but it is starting to kind of level out. Townhouses doing the exact same thing. And believe it or not, condos this last month in the city of Surrey actually went up in price by about 1%. Now, not everybody appreciates HPI like I do, so let's pop over into the median price. Median price just means the middle. So if 101 houses sell, you pick that 51st house, and that is your median price. I'm not a big fan of this stat just because, it just depends on which houses sell in that particular month. You'll see that, again, this is now saying that February was the peak, not for condos, though. Actually, if you look at that, the peak for condos was actually April, which is expected. We see that happen in asset classes all the time. The higher asset classes usually move first, but in both the up and down direction. So there's actually a tip for you. If you're interested in buying a condo, the next time you see detached houses that they're actually starting to take off and the market's heating up, that's when you want to jump into the condo market, because then you're going to catch the full uptrend. But look at this. The median price in detached homes in Surrey, well, it actually stabilized, and it has stabilized for 2 months now, August and September. August was coming down. September then stabilized sideways, and as did October. Townhouses are starting to stabilize as well. And again, here in the condo market, we're seeing that increase. Now, the median price in condos just this last month went up $23,000. So the condo market is doing well, but we expect that, because it's the lowest price asset and it's where most people can get into. But this flattening in the detached price is really what's shocking, because so many people are now expecting that these prices are just going to keep still plummeting. Currently, that's not the case, and they're actually starting to level out. Now, average price people, I know you're out there and you think the only thing that matters is average price. Cool. Also leveling out, right? We're coming into a spot now where people are getting used to the idea of these higher interest rates. So there's a really good chance that the price drops are not going to be there anymore like they were, unless we get these crazy interest rate increases. And the Bank of Canada signaled that they're going to start slowing those down with their last rate increase of 0.5%. So average price, sure, in February was almost $2.1 million. Last month in September, 1.56. So you're seeing like a $500,000 price drop in average price. That does lead towards lower price properties selling, just so everybody understands what that means. But then we only saw a $15,000 drop this last month. So that drop is kind of smoothing out. The townhouse market seeing the same thing from September at 836 now to 826. So we only saw a $10,000 decline there, when again previously we were coming down from over $1 million. And again, the average price in apartments in the city of Surrey went from $514 last month to this month at $530. So it actually increased $15,000. Let's get into the number of sales happening. Now, again, this is what we're going to see is the detached market went crazy. The blue line is showing that there was a crazy amount. There was 713 sales this last March. I'm going to go out and see if this was ever surpassed. It was surpassed. Look at that. 2015, which was a crazy year in the detached market, 730. 2016, which was an even crazier year. My up-to-date best year in the market, capped out 2 months in a row at about 750. So we were at that point, but now we've seen those come off quite a bit. What is weird is kind of the convergence now of all of these different asset classes having roughly the same amount of sales happening in them, no matter what it was. So obviously there were not as many condos selling earlier this year in March, only 372. And then we had 713 detached sales. And now that's kind of the scary number that the news is probably going to pick up on. You're going to see things like, there were 700 sales in Surrey in the month of March, and now we're only seeing 128. Obviously, it's to be expected. The activity in the market is a lot less, but new listings coming to the market, look at that, is also down. Not nearly as many new listings coming to the market. When the market get set to crash, when the market gets really bad like it did in 2009, you would expect those, let's go out and look. You would expect the inventory to skyrocket. 10 years I thought 10 years was going to take me back long enough. For instance, in 2009, you started getting all of these new listings coming to the market. Look at this, 2010, all these new listings coming to the market and not selling. Currently, we're not at that now. We are also at a spot where obviously they should be dropping off at this time of year. Not a lot of people in November and in December want to bring their properties to market. So that's why we see that cyclical kind of hump in the market and that dip and valley every single every single year. Moving into the active listings on the market, this is more representative of exactly what the market's doing and how many homes are available. And that's what I'm talking about. In 2008, that number skyrocketed. In 2009, 2010, that number was crazy. So for instance, detached homes in May of 2010, when the market was not good, there were almost 3,000 detached homes on the market. Currently today, there is not even 1,200. So we could be looking at like 2.7 times the amount of inventory needing to be on the market in order for the market to be really, really bad. Everything we're seeing today just has to do with affordability and interest rates. Doesn't have to do with actual market conditions as opposed to the other things that are going on out there outside of interest rates. The appeal to own real estate is still very real, and that is different than other market crashes that we've seen. Sales to active ratio, this is the part where we start to see kind of a normalizing back down to, what I would consider when I got into the business, when kind of that 2010, 2011, we're seeing consumption rates of hovering around 10%, which is not a fantastic market to be in, but it's also an average market to be in. And we were there all the way into 2015 from the 2008 crisis. And we were also there all the way through 2018 and, into just before the pandemic started. And now we're back. So this is stuff we've seen before, and we're going to see it again. The crazy numbers, though, that you're going to see are that the consumption rates are down like 78%. Well, that's obviously coming off of crazy record highs. Percentage of original sale price, obviously, that's coming down. It wasn't uncommon at the beginning of the year for properties to sell 10% over ask, and now we're coming back down to very realistic numbers of about 96 to 97%. So list to sale ratio, that's median. Let's go to average. List to sale ratio hovering around 96.5% is very normal. You'll see that level again, the 2009s, 2019s, the 2012, 2013, 2014. It was very common to negotiate 2 or 3% off an asking price, and now that's coming back. This craziness of 2016 and in 2020, when we're seeing an average of 5 to 10% over the asking price, it's not normal. So this is just showing to me that the market is coming back to reality. Price per square foot, to me, only really matters in condos. Doesn't really matter in detached houses at all. And then the overall days on market, well, that's starting to clump together back into, again, a normal marketplace. 30 days on the market is not a bad market. It's not a fantastic market, but it's not a bad market. You want to know what a bad market is? Follow the red line back to 2014 and see the average apartment in Surrey in 2014 to sell. Well, it took 3 months. And I'm going to break that out just so you can see it on the 3-year trend. And it was not healthy that the average property was on the market for 10 days. It wasn't healthy when the average townhouse, or in this case, condo, 12 days on the market. And that was only because we were holding off offers. So let's focus back on HPI again, just so everybody can take a look at that. We are seeing a flattening of the downslide. That's basically the gist of what I'm trying to get across to you here today. This is what we're also feeling in the marketplace as well. Because I can tell you in my own personal business and here with the team, we've sold out. We don't really have any listings left to sell, and there's not a lot of people coming to the market saying, yes, indeed, I have to move or I want to move. There's a lot of people out there thinking, oh man, I'm really worried about where my mortgage payment's going to be. How am I going to restructure that? If those people are hurting, or if those people are about to start hurting, it's probably not going to happen for another 6 months to a year. However, at that time, I think most people are just going to, if they are in a bad spot, they're just going to re-amortize their mortgage out and extend their payments. Not the best case scenario, but I think it will keep people in their homes longer term. But to kind of summarize what I've seen here, I do believe that the market is starting to show the fact that it's at least trending in a flatter position, and that we're not going to continue to see crazy downward pressure from this point forward. It is also showing me that if you have the ability to make an upsize right now, you're probably the one that's going to benefit from this entire crazy financial situation that we're finding ourselves in. And of course, if you want to explore the possibility of upsizing and you need a little bit of advice, well, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description at a time that works best for you. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, click the like button, and we'll see you in a couple of days.